the radio.
Videos where you're fuming about people making cups of tea.
Yeah,
That's really work for you.
I can get really angry over that as well.
And yes, we've got a sounder.
Get the metro on the phone. And there he is. People would progress to the idea of let's get the boil in the bag baby idea spot on so we don't have to keep ripping ourselves to bits.
All the stuff that's not for broadcast. This is Not the Radio. With Dylan Evans and Graeme Smith.
Hello and welcome to Not the Radio episode 4 with me, Dylan Evans. Hi.
Hi, and me. This is what we do.
This is
me, Graeme Smith.
Both
Hello.
feeling a little bit rough. Not going to lie, for today's podcast, we haven't done much planning. Been a big weekend of celebrations. Up the Reds. Any Liverpool fans listening?
Midday now.
Doesn't matter. Yeah,
When we picked it up at 10 o'clock.
bit ropey. Doesn't matter. I've recovered. A couple of coffees. That'll get me on the go.
I've had me breakfast. So we threw down a bit of a show plan, and then those pesky Reds.
The Reds happened.
And so
Unbelievable.
I haven't looked at we have like a little shared doc that we just throw all mad stuff down on.
Yeah. Well, I've not really looked at it at all, to be honest.
You might not realise that you have, but at some point you've logged onto the shared document.
Oh, no, I've
About 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I jotted down some notes last night.
Did you?
What did I write?
It was in complete fluent gibberish,
Okay.
Dill.
Yeah, right.
But we're going to roll with whatever. You've been drunk and happy about the football,
Right.
and we're rolling with that show plan.
Yeah, we'll go with this.
Right, that's water, by the way.
We think.
So a man has, and this is in the, normally we like to start off on a story like this to wheel you in.
Okay.
This week. A man has had a mobile phone removed from where? Where on a man
A
has
mobile
had
phone?
a mobile phone charger, sorry. I'm getting confused with a personal
This
story.
gets a
I was
bit
gonna share.
nifty, doesn't it? So there's like the threads, the rope sort of chargery. Down his thing. I would say up his thing, but I know you wouldn't just come up to me with a story that a man has shoved something up his ass. I know there's something worse. Where's he put it? Where's the charger now? Tell
He's
me.
had to have it removed from his bladder.
I knew it would go there.
You see, nowadays it's not enough to
Go on.
whack things up your bumhole.
Is it not?
It's just
is it
not
not?
enough.
Has it ever been? Was there a point where that was just enough?
It's not anymore, anyway.
Okay, good. I'm glad we've... Yeah.
So, doctors have removed a 2-foot phone charger.
2 foot?
Let's work out what 2 foot is. This TV screen here is... I'm not very good at foot, but this is like 1.4 metres.
I go foot-long subways. Too long. Yeah, it shouldn't be in them.
2 foot long subways.
Shouldn't be in them.
You could, I mean, I can understand how it could go up the bum, because up the bum, there's, believe it or not,
Go on,
all
Graham.
them secret passages.
Secret passages.
There's a lot go,
I never learned about this in science.
Didn't you?
The secret passages.
and they go on for a long time. Anyway, so the other side, no, but
They go on for a long time. I love that. I just love that you use time as the measurement. It wasn't a matter of science or math or depth. It was ages.
it's a matter of depth. Imagine if I said it's just a matter of depth, Dill, and then we just moved on.
So what's he done? How's he got it down? So
I want you to tell me what you think, how much space there is. No,
I've seen a couple of videos and I've left it there because I just don't get it. I've seen too much going. Like Mary Poppins' handbag and thought,
what have you been watching? Mary Poppins was on it with a handbag.
like a funny video. Like, do you know them funny videos? And it's like, how's this fitted up? And I was like,
Oh.
what's the human body? It's not my cup of tea.
But genuinely, biologically, there's a lot of space up there. The other way around there isn't. This man is 30 and he went to the doctors complaining of abdominal pain.
Right. To start.
It's 2 foot long. Like we said, that's 2 foot long.
Too
things.
big. That's...
Doctors believe it was swallowed or inserted for sexual gratification. Just said something about this guy. You know when you're in court?
You're reading this for that. He's in court.
No, you know when you're in court and they
right.
don't tell you what the defendant's done in the past, and then the case finishes and they go, he ate his entire family, but we couldn't tell you. Mm-hmm. And you're like, well, that might have affected how I felt about him.
Is there more on him?
This man has a history of incidents with doctors. Not with doctors, but with incidents.
Stuff. Okay.
The man is said to have had a history of accidental ingestion of headphones. Oh. He can be seen with the curled lead inside his bladder in X-ray scans.
So he's often putting stuff in his bladder, isn't he?
I'm trying to see if there's a mobile phone charger. Think about that. Like, do they mean, what about...
Well, when he said swallowed, right, what does that mean? Is that something I don't get? Is swallowed or...
I don't think it's that difficult to do what he's done. Think about what he's done there. He's fed something down something, and it's stayed... I don't know, it's one of them where you've...
So he's done it multiple
times. Get that phone charger there.
That's a giant one.
Right, well, I'll explain it. He's just put the cable in. You know, you've got...
Let me get this phone charger.
Right, so this fella's
Show us, Graham. Do us this...
I'm going to show you what his X-ray picture looks like, actually, because it's the maddest thing. This is the X-ray picture of the man. I'm going to show you. Thanks, Dale. This is the X-ray picture.
You get that.
There he is. What's missing there? Because I thought that'd be the most difficult bit. I could do that. Well, no, I don't want to. But anyone could do that. You could do that.
Oh,
in
there's
spare
no
time.
plug.
There's no plug.
So it's just a big USB wire. He's
just done that. It's just done that. You could do that. I'm just saying, not with that.
I don't think you could.
The ridges on that.
This is something I've never understood. Is the
just that bit.
I hate to sort of question. Don't men that put stuff
up or down?
Down the thing. Down the.
That's called sounding.
I know it's called that. I hate that I know that. What's the?
That's a definite fetish.
I
can't believe we're here already.
I know. I hate questioning what other people are into as well because they're not hitting anyone. But that is
themselves sometimes.
Other than themselves, that is just something for me that is off the charts. How mad that is. Off the charts. Now the fact that he's done it multiple times. But it is the same doctor as well. He'll went in the doctor's there. What is it this time, mate? Headphones? No. Charger? Yeah. The plug?
No. Oh, good.
Get in here.
Yes, we've got a sounder.
Get the metro on the phone. And there he is. Headline news. Imagine something really embarrassing like that happening. And this is another thing. Doctor confidentiality is bollocks.
Out the window.
Absolutely out the window for a couple of reasons. One, this is in the papers. And two, if you were a doctor, right, had your family, you'd fucking tell everyone. If someone come in with an iPhone charger that they've shoved down the bullhead, you'd tell everyone you knew.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't give the name.
No, you'd say, some fella come in the other day.
How's that leaked? How's the X-ray leaked?
I always think that, unless he's done it himself.
For attention.
Which, that's the least of his problems, though. I'm not getting enough attention. You're doing worse things.
I used to... I'm trying to figure out how to explain how I know this person. Somebody... I'm going to tell you... I don't know if I can really tell you.
Well, you can.
Right, so
you can always cut it out.
Which we know what happens when I say that. It always ends up in, doesn't it?
We'll cut this out. Go on, carry on.
So, right, he went... I don't want to say how connected I am to them. This person...
Well, can we just... It's not you.
It's a swim. Someone who isn't me. Someone who isn't me. Definitely not me. Went to A&E.
Right.
And they'd been doing the sex.
Right.
And they'd used a cock ring and they'd taken... Do you know what your cock ring is? Yeah, obviously. A metal one.
Metal?
Yeah, you can get them metal ones. And had a Viagra. So what's the problem that you're thinking might happen there?
So it went to...
Wouldn't go down. And he left it...
Yeah. Ring, so it was like...
Blocked, full of blood.
If someone got a ring caught on the thumb...
Boom, full of blood.
Full of it.
Big stiff thumb. And turns up at A&E and they're like, can I help you, sir? You know, when they triage you.
Throbbing at this point, in pain. I mean...
It's been like this for 10 hours. Well, you wouldn't go straight there. I'll see if it goes.
Straight there.
It didn't go.
Oh. Go on,
bless him, he went... Got a bit of a problem down there. Pointed at his pants.
Right.
Like, pointed at his... And they were like, oh, took him into a room.
Yeah.
And they were gonna ring the fire brigade, which would be the worst.
Imagine going to a hospital and them going, no, we need the heavy gear. Get the drills, get all that in.
They didn't in the end. They said, calm yourself down and we'll get a doctor to use a bit of oil.
Oh.
To tease it off.
Oh, right. Is this just what you'd have to do?
Just eventually it releases
Doc,
itself.
it's stuck again. Get the oil, Doc.
So there we go. You're right about the doctor confidentiality thing, though. I think that's just
nonsense.
The most nuts thing ever.
And my little brother's, like, he's clearly on his way to be a doctor. And
I wondered what you were going to say.
And if he ever goes, I can't say, sorry, some of the patients I've got, I just want to speak to him. I go, well, you're boring then. No point you being a doctor, saving lives.
Like, shut up.
Yeah, leak it all. This is funny.
Leak it all.
How many
Maybe that's not the thing to say when someone's inserted a phone charger up their bladder. Leak it!
Leak it all! I think we've got...
Out of that
there's enough
position.
content out of sound. And
What about Post Malone, Dylan? He's looking...
he's got a new face tattoo. He's got a couple. He's got
just on his face?
He's got a couple of new face tattoos and a big old head tattoo. Give himself a skinhead, hasn't he? Posty, the man. Which just plays into my Post Malone conspiracy theory that little bit more.
Why? Go on, explain your conspiracy theory.
Have I not explained my Post Malone conspiracy theory so far? Have I not done that yet?
No, you haven't actually. It's it's one of the ones we haven't had.
I'm full of stupid conspiracies I make up in my own head. But what I hate about them is these
They make
conspiracy
sense.
theories. They make sense. So I think Post Malone is going to fake his own death. I think he's going to fake his own death and then be gone from the music industry. I think this has been sort of happening slowly. The bigger he's got, the sort of more sad he sort of seems. And sort of face tattoos, I'll explain them in a minute. His music, there was on his last album, Beer Bongs and Bentleys, there was a line that said, "Feels like dying young is an honour." And I thought, whoa, he always references that him and Kurt Cobain feel the same. Kurt Cobain obviously killed himself.
28.
27 club, which I think is what Post Malone's heading towards. And I thought,
Post
well, what
Malone
about all the face tattoos? It instantly, he's so recognisable. There's not a place almost on the planet now that man can probably go without somebody going, isn't that, even me mad, I'd be like, that's that Post Malone fella, whatever he's called. She'd even know him. So I think this is all like the perfect decoy. So in a few years, Post Malone, say these are temporary tattoos or even tattoos for like a few years. I'm not having, you can't have a 5-year tattoo. The technology we've got now, a 5-year tattoo isn't that unrealistic.
No, I'd like that though.
Yeah, I think that'd be boss.
Yeah.
So I think he gets rid of all his tattoos, goes and lives somewhere, because there was that photo the other month of Post Malone without his face tattoos, it went viral, and everyone was saying, doesn't even look anything like him, just looks like anyone. That looks like anyone. And then it all fitted into place for me. I thought he could just get rid of all his face tattoos and his head tattoos, go and live on a farm somewhere, grow a beard out, grow his hair out, and you would never recognise him ever again.
He's
I think
bought somewhere, hasn't he?
He lives in Utah with
Let's
a big
find it.
underground, like, what is it? Like survival base.
Post Malone bunker. If you Google Post Malone bunker.
It's like an apocalypse bunker. He's ready for the apocalypse. He's built this.
Let's have a look. Right, this might be Post Malone's $3 million apocalypse bunker.
Go on.
And it's mad. Right, so this is what people have been saying. They spent $3 million on it. It's right in the middle of the US. I can't remember which
Yeah,
state
it's in the middle of nowhere. Like, his last album was called Hollywood's Bleeding, and he's talking about how he sort of fell out of love with the industry. And the cover photo is blatantly him turning his back on the industry. So I think he's gonna dusty us. To a runner.
Back in 2017, he revealed his plans to Rolling Stone. He said, "I'm buying a place out in the sticks." Who doesn't want that, though? Everyone wants a place out in the sticks.
That
it's
is
massive.
the dream. Yeah.
I'm building it underground. Again, if I had the money, I want a place in the sticks underground. It's going to be fun until the world ends, but whenever the world ends, it's going to be functional. It's in northern Utah, a secluded area outside Salt Lake City, and sprawls 6.75 acres of land.
Wow.
Amazing views. Oh, look at it. That's not it. It's unreal.
He's built himself a little paradise. Like, there's like two directions I think you can go as like a mainstream big rapper. You can go and flaunt your money stupidly and blow it all. You can be a little bit clever, and I think Post Malone is really
clever.
He's so clever. He's so well, we don't know if he is, but this is the most intelligent purchase I might have ever seen a rapper make. Honestly,
But you can just retreat to it. That is literally my idea. Imagine
He's
that
done
in the
it.
middle of nowhere.
He could never have a song again. Doesn't matter.
Look, it really doesn't though now, though, does it?
He's fine. So when I also hate when everyone questions his face tattoos. Well, if he's even left, never gonna get a job, is he?
He's never going to get a job. He's
Stuff like
got a
that.
job.
He's set for life. I also hope that whole stigma of tattoos just goes.
It's such nonsense. My mum always used to say to me, "Oh, don't get them." And then over time, she relaxes. Now, the only agreement me and my mum have got is that she'll go mad if I get one on my neck.
You look good with it on your neck.
I know, and I'm going to. So she's
Like your face, would you not get stay away or always tired or
No.
teardrops?
Probably
Nothing
wouldn't
like
do that.
Definitely not.
Do you want a bit of quick description of Posty's house, by the way?
Yes, go on.
A 5-bed, 6-bath. So you've got more bathrooms than bedrooms, is always.
Always handy.
It's an indicator of quality. 12,702 square foot mansion that boasts a fire pit. That was like a barbecue. A basketball court, wine cellar.
Oh, this is the.
It
I
is.
just feel jealous.
Home gym, hot tub, recording studio, and 30 bunk beds for his BFFs.
Unreal.
I'd be like, I want one of the bedrooms with an extra bathroom. I don't want to be one of them bunk beds.
Imagine going to Post Malone's house. Right, bunk bed with 29 others. You go, absolutely not.
Absolutely no.
I should ask him if I can come round. Post Malone DM'd me once. And that sounds like such a light. About 2 years ago,
It's true.
Whilst like Rockstar and stuff was out, so while he was massive, I still can't believe it happened. It sounds like a lie.
What did you? Can you show? Can you show?
There's proof on screen now.
Oh,
So,
he's
yeah,
not.
that's true.
He's not. He's not blagging.
Because he followed me back, liked the tweet, and then I messaged him and I said, "Fuck," because I was just obviously such a big fan. And
Yeah,
then he
you
said,
are,
my dog,
DAWG.
DAWG, and I never understood it then. I still don't understand it now.
It means he likes you.
Yeah, but then he never got back to me ever again. He's also like quit social media basically as well.
He's not dead. No, just going through it because there's just a lot of this goes on here. Calvin Harris dead.
Calvin Harris is dead, and what we know is Calvin Harris is now a clone. Post Malone is clearly going to fake his own death because he's made his money, he's made everything, he's made the name for himself. He'll go down as an icon and as a legend. All them tattoos are just temporary. They will be gone and he will blend in forevermore. Whatever he wants to be. There you go. I think that makes sense.
So, what's your exit strategy and how would you fuck off? Fuck off kindly, please. Go on. In the UK. So what's your plan? I'm gonna say
To fake my own death. What would I do?
yeah. What would you do then? What if you want to escape from the limelight, Dylan? Imagine you look like
Something
Post.
really heroic. I'd want to go out with something mad.
Rescue all the children from an orphanage.
Yazid being on it.
Like a dynamic duo.
Like maybe a few bears breaking the house. Huge aggressive bears. Bears are really obviously hard to fight.
They are.
And maybe that's my final story. Is that maybe I punched a few bears to death, and then there was too many, but I saved everyone. Something like that.
Why did you?
And then I'd fake me death like that.
You fake that you were mauled to death by a bear. No, because then you've got a plausible.
Maybe we just ran off into the woods fighting, and that was the last anyone ever seen. I got one.
You've got to hide the body.
What body? Mine.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
No, you got to come up with a reason your body's not available. So the bear could have eaten you.
Is it not good enough that we was just seen fighting in the woods? I had one bear in a headlock. I'm swinging for the other one. Bang. Yaz is going, Dylan, no.
She'd
And
a
that's
helicopter waiting for you to escape.
And that's
Dylan,
it.
no.
Yeah, that's the last that I'm ever seen of again. The hero. What about you? Something simple like that as well? Is that what you were thinking?
I mean, I haven't really considered it. I was just thinking of robbing a load of money and fucking off somewhere. I'm not gonna lie. There was no
bears in headlocks.
No bears in headlocks. No.
But what a story that
I was fucking off and leaving Steve as well. I was gonna blame him for him. I had to kill myself. It upset me so much. And I'd have all the money.
Yaz was in on mine with the bears.
I fucked Steve off. No, I haven't. Or have
you
I?
could also never punch a bear.
No, you wouldn't. I wouldn't get it.
Never get near a bear.
Never fisticuffs with a bear. Don't fist a bear. Let me tell you. Terrible
honestly,
mess.
Humans are terrible compared to animals like that. Do you ever think that? I think humans are far too cocky. I always say this in work, and you hate when I say stuff like that.
What? Yeah.
Animals are so much better than us. I was watching a thing on
They're
cheetahs.
more likeable, mate. They're more likeable when they run faster.
More
sometimes,
likeable, faster, better. Everything's like got superpowers that we just don't like to address. And I hate it. Like cheetahs can go from 0 to 60 in like 3 strides.
So can we in cars? We use technology to be better than them.
So is the technology not better than us? I just think we're weak. We're poo.
We are.
We're poo anyway. What are we talking about?
Oh, I think we should. Let me find the story and see what you.
Go on.
Right. So there was a thing this week about what's your. Right.
Go on.
I'm presuming most of you follow Dylan on TikTok.
Let's not say most.
And I'll tell you what your bread and butter is, mate.
Oh, go on.
Your bread and butter.
What?
Videos where you're fuming about people making cups of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really work for you.
Yeah, I can get really angry over that as well.
What is it?
It's usually just Americans making British tea really bad.
Put it in the microwave.
Or buy a kettle.
This is how British people make cups of tea. And then make something that's nothing of the sort. I'm like, just don't say it's British then. Just say, this is my take on a cup of tea. Fine, shut up. Stop mentioning us, because what you're consuming is nothing of the sort.
Drop your tea bag in.
Oh no.
Carry on. Is it that woman?
US woman sparks transatlantic tea war with brutal online brew.
Is it that? It's that woman, is it?
The blonde one.
Yeah.
Michelle from North Carolina. who shared her recipe for British tea.
Yeah, she shared a recipe for British tea. She's done it a few times. I've duetted a few of her videos just fuming on it. She hasn't got back to me once. I've commented on all of her things, just saying, please, just make a normal cup of tea once. Just let me know what you think. If you don't like it, it's fine. Because she makes these things. And oh my God, the other week she made British scrambled eggs. I almost vomited.
British eggs. So first you want to get your eggs out of the fridge.
So she's obviously done loads of them videos. You've been fuming, but it's the coverage that she's got. I'm looking at The Guardian here. She's made The Guardian.
It's boss. Why is she getting all these headlines? I've seen this
article. Pleased that TikTokers are making the mainstream media deal.
I'm loving that, but there's a thing in this article, I've read this, that says that she's got 5 million likes on a video of her making scrambled eggs.
Right, let me find that for you. It does say that.
It says that she amassed 5 million likes from a TikTok video making scrambled eggs. And I checked the like count.
5 million, it says, yeah.
But she hasn't got 5 million on any video of hers.
How much she got?
On that video, she's got 80k likes. And I've got like 200,000 on my duet of it. I don't like tooting my own horn. But no article ever mentioned
No one ever mentioned. You've never been in The Guardian?
Absolutely not.
It'd be good to be in The Guardian.
I'd love to be in The Guardian.
Dylan Evans, regional treasure.
There's been a few news articles that mention all of her videos, all of her stuff. I'm not in any of them.
What is it that what is it about her that they like so much? So she hasn't got the numbers, but they like her.
I've sort of offered in the numbers, but no news outlet wants to even look at me.
But Dill, the thing is,
that's sad.
The thing is, Dill.
That's sad.
The thing is,
have you figured it out?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Thing is, Dill.
Yeah.
You do speak very fast, don't you, dear?
Oh, right.
You have got that. You know, if you're going to be big in the UK, you have to speak the Queen's English.
Proper.
And we know what the Queen's English is. Normally it just means anything with a fucking Cockney accent, doesn't it? Any fucker that was born south of Birmingham. So the thing is, when you speak and you do these videos, well and good, got all these viewers.
Yeah.
No fucker can understand a word you're saying. Look, can you just say something, please?
Something?
We'll put the things on the bottom of the screen, the subtitles. Say something straightforward so that people for once can understand you. Your big thick accent.
This isn't how you make a British cup of tea. Did you get that? Did you understand that?
I'm just getting that fed to me. Is what the southern media heard.
I mean, yeah.
So what do we do to fix this?
I don't know.
I'm going to turn up at the offices of The Guardian with you. We're from the same... Me and you are from pretty much...
Next door.
Yeah.
Bootle and Crosby.
My family live really close to your family. And everything. I've got a slightly softer accent to you. And that is because, and I hate this.
Go on.
When I was younger, and I wanted to work on the radio and that, people were like, you can't work on the radio and talk like that.
That knocks me sick.
You can't do that. You'll have to change that. So I had to really tone down how I spoke and I move around a bit. And then I remember moving back at Liverpool a few years and being like, why have you made me do that?
It's horrible. I don't get the opportunities just because of how you sound for whatever reason. And even still, people will say, oh, you speak a little bit fast. Maybe tone that down. Maybe it's like, well, enough people understand me on my videos.
Absolutely fine.
And people seem to like what they get. So I'm not changing for anything. No one can tell you what to do.
Take me through... I think off the top of your head, the famouses from Liverpool that are well known, like entertainment, comedy, or anything, any mainstream role.
Well, there's a few boss stand-up comics sort of coming out the underground, but they haven't hit that mainstream yet, which is sad. But the only mainstream famous Scousers currently are footy players.
And
Carragher,
John Bishop, was he from Runcorn as well?
That's
Crewe or something, originally lives in Manchester. Yeah.
That's borderline. Cheers.
So this week was something started to happen that I thought, yes, about time.
Go on.
Where else would TikTok, K-pop,
right,
Donald Trump, the anti-fascist movement, all blend into one thing?
Where? 2020.
2020.
It's the only year that sentence would make any sense.
So you might have heard about the K-pop crew on social media buying a load of the tickets. I'm trying to really sum up what's happened quite quickly to Trump's press conference that he did the other week. And so it looked empty. And that's the one way to get to Donald Trump is to get to his ego, isn't it?
How funny is that?
So funny.
That's also like the cheapest way to go about it. The K-pop stands have been unbelievable through all this.
That's the way you need to get to these people because like Gen Z, people who are younger know how the internet works, how data works, how Donald Trump won the election because he manipulated data and did all things like that. The same goes for Brexit. And I think they're ready to fight back against it. So this is the first example of it. And then last night, there was another one that I absolutely loved.
Go on.
And this was the same sort of thing. So it's people getting together, using social media, and they've all decided that they're going to hit Donald Trump's website store, donaldtrump.com. And I'm going to show you some of the items that you would get.
What do you mean, like merchandise?
Merch. I googled Donald Trump merch. Yeah, I'm going to show you now.
You googled Donald Trump merch.
Donald Trump merch. And,
just like MAGA hats? Is it all just a daft
Yeah,
hats?
they're $30. $30 a pop, them hats. So if you go to the Trump store, I'm going to bring it out. You can see it on the screen now.
Does it all look as racist as I imagine? Oh, yeah, it does.
Would you like this racist t-shirt in buff? Defend the police t-shirt. Like,
Defend the police.
I'm not even going to, like, baby lives matter. Like, imagine dressing...
Baby lives matter. Imagine putting that on your kid.
Fuck that.
Well done. You've now got the most punchable baby in the West. Congrats.
So what they've been doing is going through this, all this shit that he sells. In fact, the shop looks like it's been slimmed down a bit, if I'm honest with you on this. None of these are featured products on here. And they were filling up their basket with hundreds of millions of dollars. MAGA Dad, 2 whiskey glasses, $30. Just one of those little badges that says Trump pence is $5. So they were filling up their basket with like loads of stuff and just leaving it. They rely on all that information for all their funding and stuff. And I was like, keep doing this.
Clever, aren't they?
I love that.
The one thing people aren't expecting from Gen Z, which is so funny because Generation Z is the generation that's just being painted as snowflakes. Until you go out and riot, then you're scum of the earth, violent. So are they violent scumbags or snowflakes? Which one?
Sure, are they?
So you paint them out as snowflakes, not realising the stealth, how clever they are. So much smarter than everyone thinks.
When you think all them boomer politicians come along and try to manipulate everyone through Trump and all that, and then Gen Z's turned around a few years later and gone, oh, we can actually manipulate you with the same systems.
We get all this. We're ahead of the curve. And I think that's what's going to be... We keep talking about this big social change because what is going to happen? It's going to be that younger generation that's just... We're sick of it.
Because I think that's been the single most effective thing to upset Trump. There was a picture of him.
Yeah.
I think we'll get it on screen now. He's at Andrews Air Force Base the next day. He's just come back from this and his ego, he's crestfallen. There's a man that's just realised that he's not the comeback kid and he's going in November.
Oh, do you think he is? So Graham's really into his American politics. Mine doesn't go as far as what you
I
say.
love it. Like
you stay up every night.
Not every night.
Not every night.
All
no,
night.
No, but the election nights you stay right through.
I do, until I find out what's happened.
That's mad. That. Do you reckon he's gone?
Is
he probably?
Do you want the stats on this? I can give you the stats.
Yeah, no, I do want numbers because from what I can see,
stats.
how that country could re-vote him in, I have no idea. But then again, I thought, how did he get in the first place? So I just claim to know stuff that I don't, I suppose.
So Joe Biden's the Democrat. He's standing against Donald Trump. Donald Trump's the Republican. The Republicans are like the Tories. They're on the right.
Right.
The Democrats are a bit like Labour, but it's not quite as straightforward as that.
Okay.
Except they swap colours. So in American politics, the people on the right are in red and the people on the left are in blue. So Joe Biden's the Democrat, and he has current chance of winning. They've got two systems, like they've got who wins the most votes and who wins in the Electoral College, which is like their system, like our one way. Oh, you've won that seat.
Okay.
The chance of Joe Biden winning the most votes is 98%.
Wow.
Today.
Wow.
Based on current polling data. The chance of winning the Electoral College, currently 9 in 10 or 90%. Donald Trump's chances of winning the most votes in the election overall, based on the current data, is 2%.
Oh,
did you know? And you wouldn't imagine it'd be that low. And to win the Electoral College, which is how he won last time, he didn't win the most votes, but the system is such that he won them in the right places. So he won less votes, but he won the election. His chances of which
blows my mind.
The chances of winning them that are 10. So he's a real there's a 90% chance he's going to lose. And look at that face.
I can't wait. The day that he's finally gone, it's just going to be wiping the smuggest face off ever.
I know.
It's going to be unreal.
I know.
What did you say, though? When we were talking about this, you went, well, yeah, up until he doesn't give it up. And I was like, well, he can't do that.
But he
sort of can. If there's anyone that was going to sit there and go, you can't get me out.
What happens? What happens if he goes, no, I'm not leaving? I don't think it's right. He's already said... that he thinks he says this every time. Oh, this election's not fair. He thinks
he's already saying this one's rigged.
He said that about the last one that he won until he won it and then it wasn't rigged. I don't even know what to say.
He's like a kid. I hate him so much.
So something got my imagination going this week.
Go on.
And in many different ways. Initially, I looked at this issue.
Oh, God. I'm still looking forward to this. This never starts good.
It's a mixed bag, this subject.
Okay.
Scientists are pushing, and they're describing it as an ethical boundary.
An ethical boundary. This is interesting. What have we got? Hybrids. Are the animal-human hybrids finally here? Half man, half pear. Half pear. Couldn't think of an animal.
Half man, half pear. What use would that be?
I was trying to say bear.
Oh, for half man, half bear would have been
Which would have been funny.
Then you'd have had claws.
Yeah.
Half pear.
Half man, half fruit. It's just our ass.
Well, they're saying that soon
Go on.
we may be able to grow babies in bags
What? What are you saying?
outside of the human body, in a bag, in a baby bio bag.
Like boiling the bag rice. Is that how big it would be? Out of curiosity. So my first thought straight away is the bags that you'd win fish out the fair.
But with a little baby, in it.
And shake it. Don't shake it too much, obviously.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Parenting advice there.
Yeah.
So they make... Do you know what I hate about this? Is your brain initially rejects it. Everyone that heard that, most people that'll hear that will go, I'm saying you're taking it too far.
A baby in a bag.
Oh, you're taking it too far. But that's just your human reaction, because we don't like change, especially change that much forward. But that makes so much sense.
Well, they've done it with a lamb. And the reason they did choose lambs to do experiments like this...
Because they're lovely to eat. After you're done with it. 160 in the oven for 4 hours.
They've used the lamb because it's the same size and takes the same amount of time to grow as a human baba in the body. Okay. Looks the same. I'm going to show you now a lamb that's being grown in a bag.
Boiling the bag lamb. Why are you showing me this? Okay. Do you know what? It doesn't look... Oh... It doesn't look weird.
It doesn't look weird,
No.
but it does have that vibe of like pierce this bag a few times. Yeah.
And fork in the microwave and then a little spring lamb jumping around. It's weird. It is weird, but it makes sense, and I think it's probably a step in the right direction.
For what? What are you thinking?
As science goes, well,
for what? For humans? Are you saying we should do this on humans?
Yeah.
Well, of course, that's where they were going with this.
It makes more sense.
For what? In what situation do you think they would do this for a human to get serious on this?
Childbirth's mad.
Well,
the thought of childbirth and
you think childbirth generally is mad, and you would do this for all births.
I've always thought, because like back in the day, like in the Victorian times, it was a 50-50 chance whether the mum would survive, and I always thought, well, we haven't evolved enough then. This isn't right.
Everyone wanted to have kids.
If your natural birth is that dangerous,
fuck it.
Let's think outside the box, or let's think outside the womb.
Oh, well, that's what we are doing here.
Yeah.
No, so what they're saying is that like some babies born early, not good for them.
Right.
Mortality is really high on stuff like that. Mm-hmm. What this could do is that if there's a chance that might happen, or a birth might happen really early on, they could take the baba out, take the baby out, put in a bag, not in a bag. But
what it is, just say it,
with fluids and all that, and it gets given the right blood, the right fluids. It's a controlled environment. We know exactly how a fetus should be looked after. There isn't all the pressure on the mum, and the mum doesn't get injured. Is another one. Another idea is that, like, is it really fair that women have to go through? I've heard that childbirth is as bad as toothache, and I've had toothache.
Imagine that down there. Toothache's that. It's got to be worse than toothache. It's got to be a lot worse. It's something that we can't even comprehend, really.
Two lads here go, do you reckon childbirth's as bad as toothache?
Surely it can't be. But this is... I've always thought this about childbirth. It's not 50-50 having a kid, is it? I done a TikTok about it the other week. I was like, it's more 90-10. And the sooner men can just admit that, like, women do pretty much everything.
It's got moaned at afterwards. Like I've had them.
Like you've had them.
Like I've got a wife and 3 kids. Oh, really badly done too.
But this isn't ethical minefield, if you will, isn't it? Because there's so many people. It is.
People are like, is it allowed? Would God be happy? That's what people think. Would God be happy with babies growing in Vespa curry bags?
Don't worry about that. Because if God was to look down at a lot of what's going on this planet now, he'd go, what the fuck are you doing? He wouldn't go, oh, there's a baby in a bag over there.
But it does remove...
the line way before that.
It does remove... Some people are disgusted by this. This goes so far. It removes the need for a baby to grow in a human, a woman to be the sole person who grows the baby. It splits the idea of carrying baby around between people. I discussed it with, say I'm gay. And me and Steve discussed it, and I was like, how boss would that be? Like, we could have a baby just between us, just keep it in a bag. And he went, how? Well, in a lab? I said, we keep it in the house. Like an egg.
Waiting for it to hatch. Be lovely,
That's basic, like an egg. What if the man and the woman?
No, it is. Yeah, no, it is. It is.
We had a couple of pigeons living in the garden, and they looked after an egg. And I went, oh, imagine you and me doing that, but with a bag.
A boil in the bag.
Full of slop. Baby in there somewhere.
It makes sense. And this is the thing of, oh, is it natural? The point I always say is, isn't everything natural? A beehive is just a city. Really. A city is just a big concrete beehive that's because we're bigger than bees. I think to an extent, isn't everything then natural?
Technology is then natural.
Is that natural? Yeah, it's just the natural progression. So is this not technically nature at its finest?
If it was men that were the things that happen to women in I'm not even going to go into but as well. The things that happen to women in childbirth are awful. They can end up incontinent, scarred for life. And no one really talks about
some things that apparently it's like a lot of the time your bumhole and the other hole make one big super hole. It just rips and makes one big uber hole, if you will. That's just what I've heard it described as online.
Fucking hell.
And
what, like a hen?
The hens like that? Have they got one big uber hole?
They've got a...
I don't know what I'm saying.
Please don't do it. It's a serious subject. It's just because you've described it like that. So to separate these two issues out, hens do have a giant orifice that they poo, piss and fire eggs out of.
Okay.
They poop, wee and fire eggs out of.
But that can happen to a woman more often than not during childbirth. And we don't speak about that. That should be like the first thing you're taught in school. Like. Maybe not the first. Let's get maths out the way. Let's make sure you can walk in a straight line, spell, and do a bit of maths, and then we'll teach you about the uber hole.
GCSE orifice.
In about year 3. But I just thought, these women aren't taught. Well, they're not, clearly not. Cardi B spoke about it.
Women aren't what? Taught what? Did they get left with the
big thing? Cardi B spoke about it, and she was like, why does no one mention these things?
You'd never have a baby. Because these people have got, I can't wait to have my next one. I'm like, why?
Maybe people would progress to the idea of, let's get the boil in the bag baby idea spot on so we don't have to keep ripping ourselves to bits.
Absolutely. If it was men that were getting... Imagine to give birth, you had to pass a melon out of the end of your knob.
Baby in the bag would have been an idea hundreds of years
Absolutely.
ago. We'd have been well advanced.
We'd have been like, at the date that they're due to be born, would have been like, oh, needs another 2 minutes, put them back in. And that would have been going on since forever.
I just finished this pint and then what about it? Can you just imagine
keep them in the oven for a bit longer. Just upstairs having a shower. So yeah, but the one thing I did think was interesting about that was, like I said, that it's really useful that as a concept for women not to be injured anymore. Pregnancies that may be... traumatic. There was a woman who was an expert. I want to tell you about this woman and what she said, because this is mind-blowing stuff. Yeah.
This is like an evolutionary step forward. I don't think people are understanding just how big this is. This is, you could theoretically just have a kid in your front room.
So pregnancy is barbaric, says this woman, Dr. Anna Smadjo.
Right.
She says if there were a disease that caused the same problems, we would regard it as very serious. She's been interviewed in this article. She's sat up in her office in the University of Oslo, opposite a calendar featuring photograph of her cats. I don't know why that was a bit of detail they felt the need to give. So she's got loads of cat pictures in her office.
Why do we need to know that?
I don't know.
Is that just to let us know what kind of woman she is?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, she loves cats.
Yeah, it is. It says, oh, she's dead quirky. I was like, okay.
What's she got to say anyway?
She said some mad stuff. She said that reproductive labour should be redistributed fairly in society. It's an unquestioned assumption that women should have babies. It's very dangerous. She said it's a bit like someone having a wisdom tooth out and someone say, oh, we should film that when you don't have any painkillers whilst we do it. Yeah. And I told this to my partner and he was like, that's a disgrace. That's awful.
But it's true. It is true.
She says it'd be better for the baby. The baby, it's traumatic birth quite often. And I'm thinking the only thing that's going to upset people is people who might be very religious and think it interferes with stuff that they normally think. But I was like, otherwise...
It's perfect.
Imagine if you're trans or gay or unable to conceive a baby.
Perfect, yeah.
So, yeah. I went on quite the journey
I bet you did, mate.
with that story. I thought, boil in the bag, baby. That sounds funny.
Boil in the bag.
And
I
not.
can't believe you were just calling it boil in the bag. Like, that's how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Not
20
at all.
minutes.
You could conceive an embryo whilst you are young and grow it in a bag after you retire. So that involves the bag at some point will be getting looked after, like the egg, like we said. Where are you going to keep you're conceiving it when you're young? So that means do the jizz or take an egg out.
Do the jizz is boss. What a boss phrase that is. I've never heard do the jizz.
What did you want me to say? Spunk. Spunk in the
I've
freezer.
just never heard do the jizz ever. I love that.
It just came out like that.
I'm going to use that. Carry on.
So do a jizz.
Do with the jizz.
In the freezer. Maybe in the, you know where you put the ice in the freezer, maybe do it in there, and then until you're retired, you could be, every time someone goes to the freezer.
Write a note.
The one on the end, that's strictly jizz. Don't put that in your gin and tonic. Just to clear it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that bombshell.
Let's leave it there.
Let's leave it there.
Shall we cut it there?
Let's.
Right, episode 4 done of Not The Radio. Come and say hello to us on the socials. We will say hello back, and that's not a joke. We genuinely tend to. Not The Radio. Not The Radio podcast on Instagram.
Yeah.
Not The Radio on TikTok. Come and say hi. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for listening. We're done. Goodbye. Bye. Come on. Bye.
All the stuff that's not for broadcast. This is Not The Radio with Dylan Evans and Graeme Smith.